For the fun of, just for the...
Yeah. Is there a video?
Would you have preferred some wine?
That would have been nice.
Why are you smiling so much?
I'm happy to be here.
I want to welcome you back with...
Oh, God. You really should have gotten wine.
I know I was feeling rough this morning, so just do as much as you can. Is that the best you can do?
Yummy. So tasty. Spicy.
Damn, this ain't no Casamigos.
Not even
I can tell.
a block of ice.
I'm gonna down it. Okay, so let's get right into it. Welcome.
Thank you.
To our video recording for NYOSI. I guess it's like a podcast, but it's mainly more of a conversation between me and you, where we discuss our lives and the journey of NYOSI up until this point. That has gotten us. So I will introduce you. Everyone, this is one of my best friends.
Which camera?
Vanessa Iloenyosi, a very, very talented, awesome, groundbreaking, earth-shattering photographer.
Yeah.
My friend Vanessa Iloenyosi.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. She knows I don't like
I am Vanessa, as you may already know. And if you don't know, I'm Vanessa Iloenyosi, and I am the founder and creative director of NYOSI.
Yes, you are.
Yes. So today we're just going to have a conversation about the summer collection. You did mention you had some questions for me. I have some questions for you as well, because I'm sure that people will be interested in a lot of the stuff that you do. So I'm gonna let you start asking so we can get this chat on the fucking road.
I think we should also go back a bit into our history between you, me, and NYOSI, because I remember like one of my earliest experience with NYOSI was we did a shoot.
Was it even the shoes or was it the pop-up?
The one where you were photographing me and I was wearing the mini skirt in the rain at your friend's studio.
Yes, but before that, did we have the pop-up? Because I do want to talk about the pop-up.
Talk about the first pop-up and what a wonderful friend I am.
Yes, so I do want to actually touch on that. The first ever pop-up I ever had was when I realized, wow, this girl loves me. Did we live together at that point?
I think I was still living at yours.
Yes.
So backstory was I was a homeless lass in Lagos.
She was poor.
I really was. And I remember I was crashing at someone's house, and the person was essentially like, I want to create in my space. And I was like, okay, I'll give you space. And she was like, I don't feel comfortable creating in my space with someone here. I was like, say less. Valid. I mean, I get it sometimes. It's not even that. It's like, I'm the same way now that I have my own space.
Yeah.
Do I want a live-in person there? So no bad blood at all. But I remember I told Vanessa this, and she had the same response, which was like, what rubbish is that? Come to mine. And we hadn't even we had known each other for years, but we hadn't really hung out one-on-one like that. So yeah, then I just packed my 2 suitcases over to Vanessa's family's home guest room, and I lived there for a little bit over 2 years.
Yeah, and it was really a fun experience. But back to the pop-up, you were literally, I feel like you were a week before me. And while I don't have the full memory of everything, I remember going through the course of that day saying to myself, wow, I felt so loved by you. You were on time, you were there when I was getting eyes. Yeah, you're always on time, which is such a weird thing. But then it's great when I'm shooting with you because I know you'll always be present. So thanks for being on time.
You're welcome.
Today. Yeah. But you helped, I think, with the eyes, with the setup, with the Polaroids. Literally, I just remember the day was going super crazy. It was my first pop-up, so it was really shit. I don't think I really had a full grasp of what it took to host a pop-up or like do an event. There was no fucking ice, there was no cups, there was no water. But I just remember you flowing. I think you were wearing a green hat and you had 2 pigtails. And I remember you just floating through.
I actually don't have any memory. Where was the pop-up?
It was, I'm not giving anyone any free promo. It was in Lekki, in that space in Lekki.
That was when I was wearing the dress now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But I think you had a hat on your head. I feel like you had.
It's possible. So my first question for you is like, what was the point, or what points did you reach where you were like, I need to get this fully started and I need to give it my all and leave this job. What was that transition like, and why? Why did you finally say I'm doing this?
I think actually it was a lot to do with COVID. COVID made me I feel like because we were home all the time, I spent a lot of time having many epiphanies and many realizations. Like I literally would wake up every day and realize something new. And I was working this job which was pretty well paying, especially for that time and for that age. I was making a good amount of money, but I noticed that the more, and it's really a strange thing, right? I noticed that the more money I made from this job, the worse I would just feel. Like I just felt there was an emptiness I would feel every day when I would start, and even before COVID. And this is not to say, I don't regret working in this space. It was really good for me. I learned a lot. But I would go to the office and one thing I noticed, I would be happy on the drive to work, get in the car. You know how I like to dance and lip sync or whatever, or rap along to whatever. And as soon as I would get into the office building, my heart would literally sink.
Sure.
It was the craziest, and now I recognize I was having anxiety or whatever, but it was so distinct.
My girl was depressed.
It was.
She's saying anxiety, she was depressed.
Like I could feel it. I would feel it was literally you know how in movies, maybe you're in one portal, you go into another portal, everything changes. That's how I would feel every day. And then COVID came.
Severance reference, wasn't it?
Please, guys. I know this is for NYOSI, but if you haven't watched Severance on Apple TV, please do that. It's so great.
Yeah.
But then COVID happened, and it seemed like I don't know what the fuck was with that job, but they just didn't want us to have a moment to rest, even though we're working from home. You're on calls and they're like, yeah.
I was there.
The young people are watching
meetings.
Netflix. And it's like, at what point would I have time to sit down and watch Netflix when I'm doing Excels back to back? I'm crunching numbers back to back. And if you know me personally, you know I'm shit with numbers. But this job literally, I was miserable. And I decided, I'm like, I don't think my calling, which is my calling definitely is not, I wasn't sure at that time if it was to design, but I was sure that it was not to be a banker. And I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I might as well give it my all. And if I fail, then so fucking be it, that I failed. But I don't want a situation where, because I also then got COVID. I know COVID then wasn't COVID now. I thought I was gonna die. Literally, I was like, I can't smell, I can't taste, God, my life is over. I'm like, if I die now, I just die a banker, and no one even fucking cares, because I'm not working for a company that I own, or a company, no one is, at best, they'll do a minute of silence for me at the office, but as soon as that's done, everyone's just like, oh yeah, let's get back to work. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not going to kill myself for this job that I literally do not care about. And I'm going to go head first into, and you remember what it was like. My parents were like, oh, you're crazy. No, the economy is too bad. And, I just called them one day and I was like, so, you know how we've been going back and forth about me resigning? And then my dad starts having a chat. I think you should be patient. I was like, there's no need, because I just sent him my resignation letter. Yeah. And it was a bit weird at first. I think my parents are very supportive, but I think they had the fear that most parents would have, that, wow, what if something happens and it doesn't work out how she envisioned? And I will be honest, for the most part, it was really tough, as you're aware. And I was so poor for so long. But I think I knew it was something that was I would always tell myself it's temporary. It's not going to be forever. At some point, I'm going to look back on this moment as I am now and be like, fuck, I was so broke then, but thank God everything has changed. And that's where I am now, so I have no regrets. I think I did something good for myself. You did. Yeah. And I'm actually going to ask you as well, at what point, because I don't think I actually have ever asked you this, because I met you as a photojournalist. Yeah. At what point did you know that that was what you wanted to do? And is that why you moved to Nigeria?
No, when I moved to Lagos with an entirely different plan. I was fully delulu. I was just like, oh my God, I have my YouTube and I'm going to come and I'm going to build a television
side
show.
note, do you remember when I was hating on you because you were famous on YouTube and Tumblr?
Yes, she was a hater. Our first interaction was her hating on me.
Yeah, I think I was just jealous because I was like,
Women
oh,
against women is never a good thing.
Anyway,
So I moved to Lagos, and funnily enough, I was actually in the middle of television production, all of that, but then plan A, plan B, it all kept on falling through. But on the side, I was making, I was just creating images. And then it was actually my sibling that was like, why don't you try taking photographs full-time as like a job? But to cut a very, very long story short, I really started photography out of necessity because I had
bills to pay.
I didn't have bills to pay because I was crashing in someone's half-finished building, family house in Ilupeju.
You have seen something.
I would wake up some mornings and there would be sex workers surrounding us, and we'd be like, okay, who wants to eat? And we'll all eat breakfast together. Tell me why they're sweeping the bedroom. We'll be like, let's get breakfast. I've had a life in this Lagos.
That sounds fun.
It was actually nice. They're really lovely. But I think for me, it was just really out of necessity. I was, I didn't have a solid place to live. I probably had like $100 to my name. I was like spending, I wasn't spending money on food, period. Like I would go, I'll wait for someone to carry me from Ilupeju to the mainland, to the island, try to network and literally just sit and wait for when people are eating. It was really hard. When people are eating, they offer me food as well. That is how I ate in Lagos for months.
I had it bad.
I didn't have, but honestly, to be fair, my survival in Lagos was built off a lot of privilege.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the opportunities that I got was because people were seeing me as a JJC. People were seeing that,
You had a YouTube?
I had a YouTube channel. They were already seeing me as somebody.
Yeah.
I think, and then also obviously the way I look as well got me into certain environments where they would be like, oh my God, she's one of us.
Yeah.
Like come hang out or whatever the case may be. So I'm fully aware of like certain reasons as to why I survived in Lagos for as long as I hustled there.
Yeah.
But yeah, photojournalism was really out of necessity. As you know, I love people's stories. I don't like people as much.
Okay, that is so great that you said that because she said 2 days ago that I keep telling people that she doesn't like anyone.
No, you keep telling people that I am unfriendly, which is untrue. I am a very friendly person. I'm just not open to strangers. There's a difference. Yeah.
Okay.
She will tell people, Yagaze doesn't like people. Versus my thing is, I don't not like people. I enjoy engaging with people, but not unnecessarily. I find myself curious about people, and then having a camera gives me a reason to interact with people, which I enjoy, because if I didn't have the camera, I would never have the guts to approach someone and say, tell me about yourself, you know? So the camera is like a tool for me to actually connect further with people, which is what I enjoy. Does it mean that I want to connect with every Tom, Dick, and Harry? No.
That's just weird.
But yeah, survival, but then even now, like flowing fully into my artistry, it's like finding my language. I'm out of survival stage, and I've spent the majority of my time in Lagos focused on other people's stories, and I didn't have time to look into myself and the other interests I had even before photojournalism started making money for me. So now I'm at the stage where I'm like, I think the main question is actually, why am I now transitioning away from photojournalism? And it's like, I'm just coming back to myself. I'm just coming back to my full self. Photojournalism was part of that, but it was very much survival. And the question, I guess also for you now is, and for me, what I'm doing now answers that question, is what do you do when you are no longer surviving? And I am no longer surviving, so I have time to turn to my art because I'm not hustling as much. I'm not in survival stage. So would you say that you're still in survival stage, or if you are, or if you're not, like what do you do when you're no longer surviving?
So I wouldn't say that I am in the survival stage anymore. I think a lot of people don't know this. I did almost, obviously you know this because you're my friend, but I did almost shut down the business in, I think it was January of 2024. I didn't know this. You didn't know this.
No.
He who must not be named, that tailor that was doing one or two.
That guy has, yeah, anyway, bless him.
So I had a tailor. I'm not going to mention or rain down on anyone. And to be fair to me, I think I did
Very
contribute
classy.
to that
did,
as well. Yeah.
you did.
Because I had just moved. I wasn't hands-on. I think I was too trusting because I'm like, okay, this person, I've taken care of this person for X amount of years. I can leave my business in their hands and they will do the work that they need to do, which was very naive to think that, especially when it's a man. If it was, I guess, women in the studio, and no shade, like, even if it's
All
shade,
shade.
actually, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If it was women, which I now have a fully women's team, we can all see the difference.
Absolutely.
So my survival stage was, I think, 2023 to early 2024. And I think even us being here is, where would I have gotten the budget for this? I don't know.
Where would you have even gotten the time to be like, okay, let's sit down in a
I wouldn't
nice
even have the
space
time for
and-
that creativity because I was literally always stressed and always trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
So now that I think I have a bit more room to explore, people always say, I don't necessarily believe I should have a podcast or be on TV, but now I'm a lot more relaxed where I can explore that and see how well that goes. I live in London now, and I know that I have a certain peace of mind, which I didn't have before. I feel like relaxed, and I think I would say that I'm only just coming out of that survival stage. So I'm trying to think, okay, I know that I want to do kids wear at some point. We do have for the summer collection, which we will be talking about later. We have a t-shirt that my niece, Could You See Me Better, designed, which is really cute. So I have time now. I feel like I have time to do like other things and be relaxed, and I'm not just under pressure like, oh my God, like I've been able to hire more hands and everybody is able to do their work. I don't have to micromanage anything. It's just, I think it's a really, and honestly, to anyone who's just starting out, I'm just going to throw this in there and say it will be crazy for a while. It's going to be really hard. But as you can hear from both of us, that dark cloud passes and the sun literally comes to shine. So just stick with it and just keep going. It can be very demented and very fucked up, but when it works out, it just keeps working out.
There will be some bumps still.
Yeah.
But
I mean, for sure.
it will feel less challenging.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
well, I feel so shy. Oh my God, it's like scripted
Bitch.
now. Oh my God. Okay. So why did you start NYOSI? I mean, we've kind of like covered a bit of like the transition and all of that other stuff, but yeah, why? And what has the journey been like? I mean, we all have the challenges.
Yeah, so we had covered that, like you said, in the 20 earlier minutes of this. A lot of people don't know, NYOSI is, people ask me what that means. It's from my last name, which is Iloenyosi. So it was kind of to honor my parents. As you know, my parents are a really big part of my life, and I would say a big part of my journey. They are incredibly supportive, and I know that no matter what happens, I always have them to lean on. So I wanted to create something that kind of like honors them and shows them how important they are to me, which is where NYOSI came from. The journey, I started in 2017. The journey was crazy. I think I started with a very high level of delusion. I thought,
as we should, as we have to.
I thought,
actually.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna start it, it's gonna blow, everyone's gonna fucking love it, I'm gonna know what the fuck I'm doing. Because I did go to fashion school, and when I then started, when I then started, I realized that theory is not really the same as practice. Every day I was learning something new. I had to really get into quality control. I had to really learn about pattern cutting. I had to learn about different stitches, different machines, different this, different that. But luckily, I think I had friends who were able to sort of guide. Jomi, who runs WAF.
Yeah.
I had my best friend Itunu, who is a serial entrepreneur and not, and I am a designer. Like people would ask what I did and I would say, oh, I'm a banker.
Yeah.
But then I had a brand where I was designing, but I just wasn't doing well enough that I felt that I had the ability to call myself a designer.
I think that's also parts like a lot of people go through that, like parts like imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
where it's like until
You
there
get to
is
a
my
certain
version
point.
of success, then I can call myself that, even though the act of already doing is that.
Is really
But
that.
carry on.
And actually, which is another reason why we're here today. I was having a conversation with my friend Hakeem, and I was telling him that every time I get invited on a podcast, it's not a bad thing. I don't have a problem with this. But every time I get invited on a podcast, let's talk about friendship. Everyone wants to know about friendship and community. And he asked me, he's like, if you could talk about something that you wanted, what would it be? And I said, I would love to talk about the journey of NYOSI, but I feel like I should only do that when I feel like I fully arrived. And he then said that he doesn't really think so, that it's good for people to also talk about the journey.
Because that's where the beef is. I'm sorry, but people aren't watching this to like hear the structural components of NYOSI. They want to hear like the actual humanness of how and why NYOSI
And
exists.
honestly, it was so hard. But I think even for when I was a child, I knew that this was what I wanted to do. I used to sew. I actually can't sew now, I'm not gonna lie. But I used to make outfits for my dolls. I would speak to my dad. I would read Times. My first encounter with, I think, a designer was when Gianni Versace died. And I think it was on the Times thing, and my dad had it. And I was like, oh, who's this? And he's like, oh, he's also my first encounter with homosexuality, because he's like, oh, he's a man who's lover.
Is that how
he
your
didn't
father
say
say?
lover, but
Yeah.
he had said boyfriend or something. I read the story myself when my parents had gone to bed, when I got it. Which is why also
Naughty.
my vocab is
You're
really good.
sneaking.
I was reading these magazines at such a young age. And, you know, I was like, who is this? He's like, oh, he's a designer. And then he tells me there's Chanel, there's this, there's that. And I was like, oh
Your
my God,
father
this
was
is
telling
something.
you this.
Yes.
I love that, because if you meet Vanessa's father, I lived there for 2 years. I think I've had 2 full conversations with him. One time was probably around the cat, and second
My dad's obsessed with my cat.
Yeah, and second long conversation was when I was finding my space, and I needed help with like lawyer contract stuff, and I needed him to give me advice. Those are the 2 longest conversations in over 2 years. So it's funny that this sort of like very somber, his energy is very somber, would be saying like, giving my babe like fashion.
He told me, you would think it
intel.
was my mom, but it was my dad actually who told me about all these designers, Elizabeth Arden, because I think my mom had some Elizabeth Arden stuff. He literally put me on, and I don't think I've ever told him that he actually was the inception of me realizing, oh my God, this is something that I want to do. And, you know, I knew that it's something I sure had to do, and even if I failed at it, I was happy to say that I tried. But then when I started, like you said, the imposter syndrome, I just couldn't tell people I was a designer, because weird story, one time I had an argument with someone I used to be friends with, and she was doing something and had invited people and hadn't invited me, I think. And I asked her why. She was like, well, this event is for creators. What have you created? Exactly, but look at how God works. Look at that.
Wait, so did the mic catch?
Sorry, did the mic catch that? But so, you know, so I think because
stay on
of
track,
that,
stay on track.
I had that in my head where it's like, actually, what have I created? And even when I started creating, I was like, not enough people love what I'm creating, so am I really a creator of anything? And really, it shouldn't be like that. Once you start something, you are doing that. You are doing it, and that's what it should be. So that's what the journey has been till now. And I think to then tie that to the summer collection, we have a lot of cute fabrics.
Okay.
There is a light suede for a skirt. I do like embroidery.
That's the one with the panel.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to move away from thread embroidery to leather strips.
You know, I love me a good thread embroidery. So,
I know, but I think I will show you the reference for this after. But I think it's really going to be cute.
Okay, what
So
else?
I'm very into the fabrics this season. I have done my best to source the fabrics internationally. Not that there's anything wrong with sourcing fabrics in Nigeria, but because of continuity and quality, and just for things to just look fucking great, right? So that was another thing that I was doing in Paris. I was picking up the fabrics. So my favorite thing actually from this collection is the t-shirt that I said my niece had designed. It's just a simple t-shirt, but I wanted her to do it because I don't want to, if I start talking about my relationship with her, we'll be here forever, as you may know. But I wanted her to really feel she part of the brand. I wanted her to start creating because her dad is a well-known designer.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to bring that out of her. And I think it's really going to be cute. It's really simple because she's a 5-year-old doing these drawings. But that is my favorite piece. We have a lot of lace. So the fabrics, there's a lot of lace. We have this orange jersey fabric, which is kind of light and very like drapey. I wanted the collection this summer to be very romantic. And while I may be heavily, I was gonna say asexual, but that is such a lie.
That is the biggest lie. Why can't I ever tell when you're sitting next to me and you're saying that? Like,
while
that's
I'm
crazy.
usually single and I have my commitment issues or whatever, you do know that I'm a very big lover of romance. I wanted it to feel very sexy, very romantic.
Okay.
Very, since this year started, if you check my Twitter, every time I say, this summer is gonna be that summer, sweat down. I don't know how I know, but I know. And I wanted that to be reflective in the pieces that I created. I wanted people to see it and be like, oh, she's having fun. And I wanted my state of mind and my state in life to be very present in everything that I do, because I think for the most part I try to sort of distance myself from NYOSI, not because of anything. I'm not shy, but sometimes I can be shy, and I wanted to have that. You know how no one knows where Magella is? I really wanted to have that delusional air of mystery where I was just hiding, but I think it was also from a place of insecurity. I think it was mainly from a place of insecurity. But now I want people to know that, wow, this girl is really present, she's really giving them, she's really fucking it up.
For this collection, people should expect summer, romance, flitting around the city, having like single girl experiences, but fun at the same time. Okay.
I would say a lot of the stuff that I've designed, I put myself in the space of someone who, say you're going on a vacation or you're going on and honestly it doesn't really have to be a vacation. You might just be going
as you're describing this, I'm thinking about Rat Girl Summer.
That's what I was
where
going
it's
to say.
Like I want
so
to be
you can just go away
and
to just whore and just fuck on people.
I was saying whimsical, girly in the city, and she's like
bad bitches. It's for
you've answered the question. Next question.
You have a show coming up, and by the time this airs, the show would have passed. But I know how important this show is to you, and we know the conversations and the things that have led up until this point. Can you just tell people what to expect? It will already be out, but however, whoever has missed it will be able to go back and reference the imagery. They can go and see it.
So if we're talking from a point where we're now in the future, is you can go to my page and you can see the details about the show and whatnot. My practice is, and maybe this is just a superstitious thing, is that I don't like talking about things until they are like right. It's tomorrow. You understand? So for now, I'm not comfortable saying like, oh yeah, this is the show, because I've been burnt so many times. So I'm just like, I don't know whether. But,
so we won't.
So I have 2 shows coming up. One here in Lagos and another one in New York, and I'm particularly excited about it because, you know, we talked earlier about just transitioning into other versions of ourselves, our passions. So, you know, moving away from photojournalism and throwing myself into my fine art. It's something I've been doing for the last 3 years, but it has always been photography. But now that I've been moving more into textiles and hand embroidery work and just more like connecting into like, you know, Igbo spirituality and listening to my chi and all of that, this is deeply personal, deeply spiritual work. And I'm just really glad that, you know, the first time that a lot of people are going to see the new work is that it is showing on home ground first. Not that I'll carry it over to Europe and then say I've made it. It's like, I love when we get recognized, of not even recognition, but just let your work show at home first.
Yeah.
You know, let people value it here first. I'm excited for that. Yeah, and that's it. I think it just ties down to ultimately that transitionary stage that we find ourselves in. And I've already had, as someone who's transitioning more and more, I've always been an artist, but transitioning more visibly into that versus being a photojournalist. Believe it or not, there are people who are around already saying, like, making fun of that. And for me, it doesn't bother me because before I was a photojournalist, I was a blogger.
I'm going to stop you right there. Who's making fun of it?
Don't worry, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. She'll hear from me.
But like, you know, little snide mentions, that sort of thing. And I was like, it doesn't bother me at this point, thankfully, because when I was a blogger transitioning into photojournalism,
people had a
people
lot to
were like,
say.
oh, she's not a photographer. This one thinks, and I'm like, well, guess who's like the top female photographer on the continent? Sorry.
This bitch.
Fine, you know. So now transitioning into the fine arts as well is just like it's not a nice feeling though. At least I know how to handle it now. But I think more than anything, it's reassuring me in the footsteps that I'm taking. And I think a lot of people have this challenge creatively of when you're trying to identify yourself and cement yourself as a designer, as an artist, or one like creative or the other, you know, and you have people do a little poke and you're not even fully confident in that identity.
So it's really
it
easy
wears
to-
down on you. But I mean, obviously, ultimately, it's just like this life, as they say, cliches are always true. It's like, it's just one.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just glad that I'm able to do what I want to do for myself. And I love being in a space and having a community of friends who are doing the same thing on different levels. Not that all my friends are creatives, you know, but I love the fact that a lot of us are very self-aware in terms of what we want out of life, and we're going to get it. So in general, that's what I'm excited about in terms of showing my new work, is that my new work is a representation of everything that I have predicted for myself. And it just so happens that it always comes to pass. There's nothing I've wanted that I've never gotten. So shout out to that. Thank you.
While this, as you know, is about the summer collection, I do feel it's really important to touch on what you said. When you start something, there will be people that will rain down on you. There's people that I'm no longer friends with because when I started,
Vanessa
has
done a lot of side drops.
No, beef with anybody.
A lot of, there's somebody I used to talk to.
When
this is the podcast
something
that people wanted. Not be just by sitting down saying, yeah, this is all professionalism, you know, but I think
fuck that shit. All I know is when you start something, there will always be, will be people who support you.
Yeah.
Like my dear friend here. But there will always be people who will come into your ear, they will make these comments, they'll try and discourage you. And I think I'm at a point in my life where I realize it's not necessarily about me, it's about this person's insecurities and them trying to project that onto me. They're probably dealing with something, maybe they were brought up.
How gracious of you.
Different, brought up in survival, I don't know. My parents loved me. My parents have always told me I can do X, Y, Z. So even if you don't have that,
Even
support,
if you don't like me.
What's that?
Sorry.
Even if you don't like me.
She's not on TikTok.
Anyway, so no, I know it's nice. That's not that almost sexy song. But anyway, believe in yourself. Focus more on the people who support you. And on that note, I think we can end this. I hope you guys love the summer collection when it comes out. Thank you.
Wait, does the summer collection have a name?
No.
Summer collection, NYOSI.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.